Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 25th day of March. Today is National Lobster Newberg Day.
Lobster Newberg.
That sounds good. It's also National Medal of Honor Day and National Tolkien Reading Day. And I don't
Tolkien reading?
Yeah, it's like Tolkien's an author. I don't think I've ever read any, but I know that there are people that are big fans, so today's a big day to do that. So you'll probably see some folks on social media sharing that. Also, speaking of social media, I posted our Dear John letter earlier this week. And if you happen to have an opportunity, and if you are still on Facebook, you know how many people I talk to that say I'm not even on there anymore? A lot of them. But if you happen to still be on Facebook, you could chime in with an answer for our Dear John letter from Toothbrush Snob. It's a whole story. Just stick around. You'll hear about it. But Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. That's where you could go to find all that.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. According to a new survey, 62% of Americans working remotely are considering moving to a new country. I wonder if that's new county. It says country in the story.
That seems bizarre to me. That
62%?
just seems like a lot.
It does. I almost think it has to. I got a link to it. I'm going to have to check that out. And this is interesting. Could you have your cake and eat it too? Scientists in Sweden say, yeah, maybe you could. They've discovered a way to prevent or reverse conditions like diabetes and obesity while patients continue to eat a high-fat diet. This sounds like a dream come true.
I'm kind of liking
for
this
me.
so far.
Research on mice reveals the health-damaging effects of a fatty diet can be completely offset with the use of a so-called antisense, ASO treatment. Mice who developed diabetes, fatty liver disease, and obesity after consuming high-fat diets completely reverted to normal health after their treatment. So, can I be the guinea pig for this?
That's kind of exciting.
I mean, somebody just sneak that into my food and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Surveys and studies and such. Brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A man needed a little bit of help early Monday at a McDonald's, and he had too much to drink the night before. Police said on a Facebook post that the drunk man had to be rescued from inside a garbage truck. It was, well, he was not in a dumpster that was dumped into the truck. It says he climbed on the ladder on the side of the truck and then jumped in.
Oh.
He wouldn't tell officers his name or why he jumped into the truck. The fire department was called to assist to get this guy out of the truck. It could not be opened without crushing him, so they had to figure out a different way.
Oh, wow.
A ladder was
that's
placed
quite the predicament.
into the truck. He was freed for a short amount of time before being arrested and placed into a patrol car. The man was booked on complaints of public intoxication and obstruction, along with bringing contraband into the jail because he had marijuana in his sock.
His sock.
Yeah, that's not a good plan. That's probably why he dove in there to go after that, I'm assuming. I don't know. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
Oh.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com. Meghan Markle has been in the news a lot lately, and her favorite frozen yogurt shop has created a flavor in her honor. So
Isn't that super?
what that's called or what it tastes like, but there you go. And sources close to Meghan Markle say the Duchess is, quote, strongly considering a run for the U.S. presidency in 2024.
Please do. I would actually love to kind
Well,
of.
you know what? Everybody has the ability to do whatever they want to do.
That's right.
But didn't she want to get away from royalty?
I thought
'cause
she
wanted
exactly.
Out
I
of the
thought she wanted
spotlight,
out of
so
all
I
of
don't
that.
quite-
Whatever.
And then in a related but unrelated story, last week, Matthew McConaughey said he was considering a run for Texas governor. McConaughey, 51, was speaking of his current role as a parent and a University of Texas professor when he wondered aloud during this little speech what his next move would be. Maybe, I don't know, governor of Texas.
Now that I could see.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That I
Interesting
could
stuff.
see.
I've got a link to all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of RedCrossBlood.org. Thinking of giving your young child an allowance? Experts say ages 5 through 8 are considered a good time for starting an allowance. Here's one rule of thumb from a few years ago. They said back then, $1 for every year of age. So a 6-year-old would get a $6 weekly or monthly, depending on your budget, but you'd base it on age. So that way they get a little more as they get a little older, so it's not just a random number. Interesting idea.
We did the Dave Ramsey thing where we gave commissions
based
to our
on
kids
what they
based
were
on
doing.
what they. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it worked really well. Do you remember? I'll give you a quick little tip on what not to do. Our son was a coin collector, still is a coin collector, but we went and found some coins that were each like $5 to $10 a piece.
Right.
And then every time he would mow the lawn, I'd let him pick one of those coins. Our lawn looked like a
It
golf
was
course.
the best lawn.
Yeah. I'd come home and he's like, hey, I mowed the lawn today. I'm like, didn't you just mow
Again?
the lawn 2 days ago? So make sure if you're doing that you put some rules in that like you can't just wash the car every day because it doesn't need to be washed every day. Anyway, a pet insurance company, which I didn't know was a thing, has compiled a list of the top 10 puppy names of 2020 so far. They analyzed their database of more than 600,000 insured pets to come up with the top 10 puppy names. You want to just guess at least one?
Rover.
All right, let's see if that's on the list. Everybody else, shout out who you think would be the top puppy name so everybody around you knows if you're a liar-faced liar or if you've got it. Because Heidi, she said hers. I could tell you mine, but I'm looking at the list. That probably wouldn't work. So, if you said in this order, Luna,
Okay.
Charlie, Cooper, Bella, Milo, Lucy, Bailey, Daisy, Coco, or Max, you are in the top 10. So Rover, that Heidi said, not in the top 10. Doesn't mean that it's not on the list anywhere. It's just not in the top 10. Have you ever met a dog named Rover, by the way?
No.
Nor have I. I was wondering where you came up with
No,
that
no,
name.
I have not.
I think it was in a cartoon once. But are you still getting blackout drunk and leaving your debit card at the bar well into your 20s? Does your mother still do your laundry? Do you still not know the capital of Vermont? Don't fret. Or maybe you do. Blame it on just not being an adult yet. According to a new study from a group of brain surgeons at Cambridge University, they say people do not become full adults until they're in their 30s.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry,
It all
but
depends, I think everybody's different, by the way. So I don't think that, because I know some people who were full-grown adults when they were like 10. So it all
Right.
depends on the person. Because our son, for example, was like an adult when he was just a child. He
yeah,
was-
and I'm sorry, but you can't just continue to be a mess until you're in your 30s and say it's okay because no, it's
So-
you grow up.
maybe that's what's going on here. That's somebody that's like working on their.
Yeah,
I'd like to turn in a report, and I don't have that report because I'm still not an adult.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm gonna say no way to that.
your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, But I can assure you we'd love to help at insurancechicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's insurancechicken.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters. All right, I got quite the Dear John letter this week, and I'm almost afraid to ask because when I was talking about this, I heard Heidi snickering over here, so I don't even know if I want to say this. Maybe you leave the room because I don't know if I want to find out. But here we go. Dear John, I walked in on my wife using my toothbrush. I was really grossed out about it, and we got into a bit of a fight. She said her toothbrush fell on the floor, so she threw it out. She said she used my toothbrush many times before. This seems disgusting to me. I offered to buy her a few backup toothbrushes, and she's mad that I even kind of flipped out over this. Was it wrong of me to overreact about this? Signed, Toothbrush Snob. So before I read this little bit of info that I found online and researching, because I wanted to have some info to answer this. Why were you snickering about this? Have you used my toothbrush?
I have.
Why?
Not like daily or anything, but there have been a couple times where I couldn't find mine and yours is there. Or if we're traveling and I don't realize till after I'm done that I grabbed the wrong toothbrush. It's not the end of the
How
world.
many times in 21 years?
In all 21 years?
What are we talking about? 4 or 5 times? Or
I don't know, maybe a dozen.
really?
Yeah.
You know how many times I've used your toothbrush?
How many?
0. Never. Not a
So if
single
you couldn't
time.
find your toothbrush, you just don't brush?
I've always found my toothbrush. What are you doing with your toothbrush? You taking it on walks? I mean, you know what I do? I brush my teeth. I'm literally standing at the sink. I brush my teeth, and then I put my toothbrush right where it belongs. What are you doing where you lose a toothbrush? Just don't. You walking around the house when you do this?
I don't know. Sometimes drunk Heidi is the one brush her teeth.
Okay, well, that's enough said. So before I answer this, I'm going to read to you what I found, Toothbrush Snob. I thought this was amazing, and I posted this with my the Dear John letter just so everybody could read this as well. It says, according to a survey, 25% of women say that they sometimes borrow their partner or roommates' razors for their legs.
Oh, yeah, I've used your razors.
What? How many times have you done that?
All the time.
Would you stop? And 10% of women say they sometimes secretly use their significant other's toothbrush. So, Toothbrush Snob, got to tell you, it sounds like this is a much bigger deal than you realized, and a much bigger deal than I realized. I didn't know that Heidi was using my toothbrush or my razors. So that explains why my razors are always so dull. I think we really need to come up with a better plan. If you would like to chime in for Toothbrush Snobs, I guess I'm going to read the question that he asked. I offer to buy a few backup toothbrushes. I think that's a good idea for me as well. I'm going to head to the store and get some of those. And she's mad that I kind of flipped out over all of this. Was it wrong of me to overreact about this? I honestly don't think it was wrong for you to question her, but I don't know what you said. Did I just overreact when I found out you were using my toothbrush?
Bit of a drama queen.
Would you stop it?
Considering your tongue is always down my throat, I don't know what the problem is.
It is
with the
not.
toothbrush.
She's my wife, by the way. So for those of you, I want to make sure we put that out there, just in case anybody listening is like, "Wow, these two coworkers really." She's married to me. We have been married for 21 years, but I don't think it's a good idea to use each other's toothbrush.
It's not like I use your toothbrush every day. And especially since we got our new,
electric ones.
Ones.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know which one it's always there, and it's very
See?
obvious which
So
one is
you
mine.
haven't had to use it ever since then?
No.
Okay. Did you really?
When we were on vacation, I
Did
had
you
to use
really?
I had to use it once.
Would you stop? I'm going to go brush my teeth. I'm going to go buy a new toothbrush first. I encourage everybody, if you're married, talk to your spouse about this and chime in. I would love to see how many people on Facebook, because there's already some comments on her, but I would love to see what other people think. And again, I don't know if it was wrong of you to overreact, because I don't know how much you reacted or overreacted, but I think that, yeah, we should each have our own toothbrushes. If you go to the dentist, they give them to you for free. I mean, it's not like they're an expensive item.
I just can't sometimes find it.
Okay.
Like I said, a dozen times in 21 years is not like
That
it's
just seems
a
like an
daily-
epidemic to me. So, if you'd like to chime in for Toothbrush Snob, you can do so at facebook.com/JohnandHeidiShow.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The M's in M&M actually stand for something. Do you know what?
The owners of the company,
Yeah,
Marshall and
Mars and Murray.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray, the two businessmen who created the candy-coated chocolates. The two actually had a very contentious relationship as Mars leveraged Murray out of the 20% share of the company in 1949, years before M&M would become the best-selling candy in the U.S. And he paid him how much, do you suppose, for his 20%?
Oh, geez, probably not much at all.
$1 million, which turned into...
Well, which back then
yeah,
was a
it was
lot.
a lot of money, but it turned into something
Oh,
worth
yeah.
billions of dollars. So.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. And now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline England. Prince Charles reportedly wants to issue a point-by-point rebuttal to Meghan Markle's claims about her interview with Oprah Winfrey, but the royal family has told him no. No, we're
Charles,
done.
sit down.
Everybody just calm down. So, yeah, it's interesting. Again, a couple who said we want to get out of the spotlight. They sure
don't
been in the
seem to want to stay
spotlight
out
a
of the
lot.
spotlight.
And you guys got to understand, I know you're probably going, well, John, you're the one reading it. Okay. I read one out of like every 15 stories that comes across my desk
constantly
about
are-
them.
yeah.
Just the most ridiculous ones, honestly. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Former Slovakian Minister of Education, Jiraji Drexler, expressed his discontent with the current prime minister in an unusual way. He's been dumping manure on his lawn.
Oh.
He says he's been dumping manure on us every day, so today I give it back. Police say that they were investigating an unusual case. They found manure dumped at the entrance of the government office. Search for the person responsible. It didn't take long because he was on Facebook saying, "It was me." He brought it there because he's not happy with the people that are in charge now.
So now, is something like that illegal?
I don't know. Let's see if it says. They gave him a fine of $120. It was 100 euros, so like $120. Many people said the fine was acceptable and joked that they would actually deliver their own manure if that's all it's going to cost. So.
Right. Well, that's what I was wondering is what's the punishment for that sort of thing?
He urged his supporters, please don't do that. So, what a weird story. That is why it is today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by redcrossblood.org. And I don't know that this should really be a moment of duh, but I didn't know where else to put it, so here it is. Remember Lawyer Cat? The lawyer that was like popped up as a cat on the screenshot, whatever it was on the Zoom
Oh,
call?
yes. Yeah.
So now there's an English priest that's maybe, I don't know what you call him, a Blues Brothers priest, I don't know. But an English priest is the latest viral sensation in a Zoom mishap. Reverend Vaughn Roberts was on a mission from God, you might say. Well, he was live streaming a service from the church back on the 7th of March. At the beginning of the service, a Zoom filter accidentally left on transformed the priest into one of the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
It was accidentally turned on and left on. He didn't mean to, but he couldn't figure out how to turn it off. He had to perform the rest of the service sitting down to avoid triggering the filter again. So he'd stand up, and it dressed him as one of the Blues Brothers.
You
and
know,
then he'd get out of the way.
these silly filters that people keep using.
Technology.
If you just don't mess with those things, it's not going to happen.
That's a good plan. This is today's Moment of Da.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At insurancechicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at insurancechicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's insurancechicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Heidi, are you ready for this
I'm
one?
ready.
All right. How about this? Wheatley Hills, East Williston, New York. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
I will say this is a golf course.
A golf course.
Okay.
Good job for Heidi on guess number 18. She finally got one right. You were doing really good for a long time. And
Okay.
then you skunked it for a bit.
In my defense, the jaywalking one,
Yeah.
that to me sounds like, okay, so there's a certain hole where the hole is on the other side of a road, and so you're going to have to hit from one side, and then you got to walk. So it's like,
I see what you're saying.
right? You see what
Yeah.
I was thinking? I don't know why you would call a rehab center jaywalking hills or whatever
Somebody
it was
else feel
called.
like this is just an excuse? That's how we play. Is it
That
a golf
makes sense
course
to me.
or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by Time4Rehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And I think this is really kind of a cool story here. A young man with autism had a heartfelt cover letter, and it is going viral. Cover letter posted on LinkedIn has been viewed more than 6 million times.
Okay.
That's a lot of people checking out this letter. The young man's name is Ryan Lowry. He's 20 years young. He's a 2019 graduate of Heritage High School in Virginia. He's currently enrolled in the Community and Schools Together program, CAST program. And this is a cool thing. He's seeking a job in animation or information technology. He wrote in his cover letter that's been viewed millions of times now, that he said he talked a little bit about having autism, but he's determined to work hard for anyone who will hire him. He said, I realize someone like you will have to take chances on me. And when you read this letter, it is just amazing. And you read, I'm not going to read the whole thing because, again, I don't have time to read the whole thing, but there is an image of it so you can read it in his handwriting. But in there, he has had now several interviews scheduled with several different Fortune 500 companies. His mom and dad said they couldn't be more proud of their son. It says on here, I lay in bed at night and I cry reading the messages. That's what mom said, by the way. She said, this raw, vulnerable letter has opened up so many opportunities for our son. And it was literally him just pouring out his heart saying, I understand I'm a little different and you're going to have to take a chance, but if you take a chance on me, I am not going to let you down.
Okay.
I learn really quickly. I'm interested in math. I'm interested in technology. And, you know, even though I have some shortcomings, I've got a lot of good things too. But he was just super honest. And this handwritten letter that he posted back in February of this year, 6 million views. And I just think that is such an amazing story. And I'm going to post a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.